Hello, I'm Billy, and welcome to Sidelick Town. Today in Sidelick Town, we'll follow Oscar into the depths of the factory and help Ray find his friends. But first, Tommy and Nick get in a problem. It was a busy time for the Licks of Sidelick Town. They were going to give the town a new coat of blue and pink paint. Jeff and Timmy had to get the brushes. Ray and Billy were getting the ladder. Everyone but Tommy and Nick was working on something else. So Corey gave them the job of picking up the paints and painting the town. Be extremely careful on your way in, he warned. I want no foolishness. That's why I chose Nick instead of Oscar. Why do I have to be paired with him? Whined Nick. He'd better not boss me around like you do, Corey, huffed Tommy. This is not going to end well, moaned Corey. Corey told Nick to move the blue paint and Tommy had to take the pink. Already, Tommy had a temper going. Great, I have to deliver pink paint, he hissed. It's just paint, said Nick. Just stop complaining and focus. Tommy was now even angry with him. He thought of something devious. He wants me to focus, he thought. I'll focus on getting him back. Tommy bumped his cart into Nick's the next chance he got. He wanted to simply jostle it to irritate him. But the bump told Nick he better stop to check the paint. Because of that, a bigger problem occurred. Oh no, wailed Nick. Tommy, you pushed my cart away. So be quiet, ordered Tommy, and let's get the carts back. The carts stayed apart until the first one stopped. Tommy's cart slammed into it, knocked it over, and splattered blue and pink paint everywhere. It even got on the walls of the stores in the wrong spots. What happened? Cried Corey. Tommy slipped away before Corey walked over. Nick was alone next to a mess of paint. Don't tell me you did all this, said Corey. It's all Tommy's fault, protested Nick. I don't see Tommy here, Nick, said Corey. I'm afraid you'll be responsible for cleaning this mess up. But I didn't do it, whined Nick. And for lying, you can do all the painting, added Corey. Nick was sad and shocked and angry all at once. The next morning, Tommy took a brisk walk through town and caught a glimpse of Nick painting. Are you trying to be a goody-goody for your dad? Taunted Tommy. No, said Nick, I'm doing this because of you. You just had the weasel out of trouble, and now I'm stuck painting the whole town. Thanks a lot, Tommy. Well, it's your problem now, snapped Tommy. Bye. As Tommy walked away, he accidentally bumped into a cart. It slid a ways before stopping. A moment later, Mike drove by in the car, just inches away from it. You were so close to getting a proper punishment, chuckled Nick. You'll get what you deserve, Tommy. Tommy walked away nervously. He didn't notice he had untied shoes. He tripped and fell onto Oscar. What do you think you're doing? Asked Oscar. Don't push me again or I'll tell my uncle. I'm just having clumsy feet today, murmured Tommy. He still didn't notice that his shoelaces were untied. He tripped again and fell onto the train. Tommy, you just caused a train wreck, screamed Timmy. I'm telling Corey, he threatened. How dare you knock a train over, especially when I'm inside? Tommy waited anxiously. He deeply regretted framing Nick the day before. Well, Tommy, said Corey, I've also heard that you bumped Oscar and almost got Mike into a car accident. Anything you want to add? Yes, sobbed Tommy. I'll admit what I did yesterday. I caused the paint mess. I pushed the carts and blamed Nick, and now I can't stop pushing things. Well, there's why, chuckled Corey. Your shoelaces are untied. So I'm not under a pushing curse or anything? Asked Tommy. No, you weren't, said Corey, but that doesn't mean you can get away with lying. I'm guessing you learned a lesson in honesty. I certainly did, sighed Tommy. Of course, a punishment is still in order, said Corey. Corey let Nick off the hook. Instead, he had Tommy repaint the town inside and out. But that was the last time Tommy blamed someone else for something he did. Ray is looking for some of his friends. He knows what his friends usually do, so he knows exactly where to look. Who do you think he'll find at the supermarket? That's right, the supermarket is where Gary works. And Jeff had to do his shopping so he can spend time with him too. He wants to find Timmy and Tommy. But where would you look for them? Yes, they're on the train. Timmy drives the train and Tommy often rides in it. Now Ray wants to find Billy. What is Billy usually doing right now? Yes, Billy collects the carts for Gary every evening. There's Billy now, with all the carts. Ray has found all his friends. And he knows he has a good friend in you, too. The Sidelicks were busy at the factory. Some were shipping packages, but others were picking them up. Mac was here to pick up a box of hamburgers. Oscar walked by. "Hello, Mac," he said. "What are you doing?" "I'm waiting for my shipment of patties," he responded. "I can help bring it back," offered Oscar. "No thanks," said Mac. "I insist," insisted Oscar. "I'll go get my uncle's car and I can drive it back for you." Mac finally agreed. He walked over to talk to Nick. But as the box arrived on the conveyor belt, Oscar tried to reach it. But he only bumped it back further. It descended away. "Oh no, Oscar," cried Mac. "Look what you've done." "Don't worry, Mac," said Oscar. "I'll fix this." "Please, don't try," groaned Mac. Oscar didn't listen. He hopped onto the belt and leapt over to the package. He clung as it was pulled through the hole. "Mac, Oscar's going into the warehouse," screamed Jeff. "What's it like in there?" asked Mac. "It's a tall, huge building," explained Billy. "He could be stuffed into other boxes, or be dropped into other things." "You should be ashamed of yourself," scolded Timmy. "It was his idea," protested Mac. "It doesn't matter," said Timmy. "He did it out of kindness." "Yeah," said Billy. "Oscar might complain and stuff." "But he's a teddy bear deep down," added Jeff. "And you need to save that teddy bear." Mac knew they were right. They rushed through the doors to the chamber. It was so huge. There were rows and rows of boxes. They spied a robot and asked what happened. "I tried warning him," said the robot. "But the Sidelick is still being sorted with his package. He must really want those patties." A load of boxes fell on the robot. Oscar was overhead eating a few patties. "Oscar, stay put," cried Jeff. "I made this safe little room here," he said. "Get Corey," he also called. "He can move that big crane over there to fetch me." "There's no time," said Timmy. "You have to get down now." "Okay," agreed Oscar. "I'll toss the patties down first." But when he did, he accidentally hit a machine. The whole warehouse whirred. Before he knew it, the boxes were shifting around. And so was he. He held on tight as they moved towards the machine. He was carried through. "What does that box do?" cried Billy. "It's the packaging unit," said Timmy. "It's putting Oscar in a box. It'll then hopefully slide him down," he finished. All the while, Timmy, Jeff, Billy, and Mac were very worried. But Mac was most worried of all. Oscar was doing all this for him. At last, a few boxes rode down from the boxer. The second one they opened had a folded Oscar inside. "Wow," sighed Oscar. "That was one crazy ride." "Are you all right?" asked Jeff. "Of course I am," said Oscar. "That was fantastic." "But Mac, do you have the hamburger patties?" "Yes, I do," said Mac. "Good," said Oscar. "Now I'll be going home." They all watched Oscar as he fled. "I hope a friend will do that for me one day," said Billy. The others left, and Nick came back. "I heard the whole story," said Nick. "Mac, with friends like that, you don't need your restaurant to be happy." And if that's the case, now I don't have to eat hot dogs anymore on Tuesdays. You're right, Nick, said Mac. I feel really special having a good friend like that. Well, of course, said Nick. He's known you all his life. But we all have a really good friend. It's what makes the world stay together. And Mac, my cousin, is yours.